Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to a Comic Hero review, and today we are comparing the all my Daredevils that I have in my collection. So that is Marvel Legends, and then we have one Diamond Select. And the two Daredevils, one of the two, some of the two, I'm sure you can probably already tell, are from the Toy Biz era. But I realized that they are all Daredevils, and they are all still 6-inch lines, so I decided to go into a full-on comparison and compare all the ones that I have to see which one comes out on the best. So let's get right into it, and we'll start with this guy right here. Alright guys, so here we have the, I'm not too sure on the series. I'll edit in which series it is at the end of the video, but here we have the classic yellow suit Daredevil, and I'm just going to come out and straight say it. The articulation on this guy sucks, but that's probably because he did come out in 2001. I'm not sure why, but for some reason his waist kind of gets stuck and you have to pull it up like that. The good thing is, I'm not really trying to pose this guy in pictures or anything, so I kind of just have him sitting up on his accessories. But, yeah, so they don't have, like, the wrist articulation. It's all the way down here at the forearm. You have to spin that to get it, and then on the one hand, it has the pointing finger for some reason, not the fists. I don't really see Daredevil as a guy who kind of points out to people, especially since he's a blind guy. Technically, but yeah, I mean, he does have actually decent leg articulation. Yeah, I do like the way that they did the holster on this guy. When I get to the Marvel Legends yellow suit Daredevil, I'm going to talk about how I don't like their version of the leg holster for his billy clubs. But yeah, for most part, he does have well articulation in the legs. Well-made articulation in the legs. He doesn't have like the ankle pivot or anything, but he is pretty good. And I do like the poses that you are able to get him into. Also, the movement on the head, it's not very good. But there's that in the articulation department. Let's move on to the accessories. So for the first bit of its accessories, he obviously comes with his billy clubs, and to be honest, I've never been a fan of how Toy Biz does their billy clubs. Even for Moon Knight, it's just a plain white color and has the strings. I kind of came up with this theory that they did this because they don't want the kids to lose the billy clubs, but let's get on to the second accessory, which I think is really awesome. So for the second accessory, he also comes with this stained glass diorama, and it isn't actually the first time we've seen it. I do have another Daredevil in this collection that already came with one, but I am 99% sure that there is another variant to this one. Maybe this one is the actual variant to the other one, but he's in the red classic suit, and he also does come with this stained glass window. Obviously, this is the first appearance, but the red one, I'm pretty sure, is definitely the more known suit. That's why I called it the classic. But I do always love it when figures come with diorama pieces like this one. Another Daredevil that I'm going to be showing in this comparison video came with another one of my favorite accessories out of all of them. So I'm pretty excited to get to that guy. But after that, I already think I went over most of it. Like I said before, the articulation isn't great, but the poses that you can get him into is pretty sick. And the accessories are really good. So let's move on to the second Daredevil. And I forgot to do the size comparison, so here he is standing next to his Toy Biz counterpart movie, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man suit. Action figure. Next up, let's look at the retro Spider-Man armored Daredevil, and I have to say, I really, really like this guy. He doesn't come with too many, groundbreaking accessories, but he is sculpted really well, so let's take a look at all the sculpting and paint apps. So, if we look closely at this Daredevil, I'm sure you've probably already seen reviews of this guy, but the sculpting on him is really great, and all the red that's on him, most of it, I think all of it, is this metallic red, which looks sick, and if you didn't know, this was in a storyline. I think it was like The Man Without Fear, I'm pretty sure. It's a common name for Daredevil series, but, he wore the armored suit because his suit got messed up and he needed to be protected or something like that. And I thought it kind of went on too long. I do have a couple of those comics, but I do remember reading them online a lot. But I do think that this figure is actually really cool. I did have the Toy Biz version of this guy, and it was only like the 5-inch version. But this guy is really, really cool. I did get a couple of pictures with him. I might put them up on the screen. He does have good articulation, and he does have these little wrist things as he did in the comics with the armor and stuff. It's all newly sculpted. Oh, and it just looks really, really sick. This is soft plastic. It does kind of hinder some of the articulation, but I mean, with something looking this good, I am fine with some of the articulation being taken away. So let's move on to the accessories. So for the first accessory, he does come with 2 of these wrist guards with the billy clubs attached to them, and I think they turned out pretty well. It is just clear plastic, and there is a bit of marbleization on them, and they are actually kind of really small compared to the real billy clubs. But yeah, let's move on to the second batch of accessories, I should say. For the second batch of accessories, he does come with 2 fisted hands, and I think these turned out really nice with the metallic red paint. For the third batch of accessories, he does come with his open gripping hand, so he can grip other accessories that he comes with. For the fourth batch of accessories, he does come with his billy clubs, and here you can kind of see what I mean, that they look really, really large outside of when they are on his wrist guard. But I do think that these are alright. They are kind of just the classic billy clubs that we do get with normal Daredevils. But yeah, let's move on to the final accessory. I also forgot to point out that these billy clubs can go together like the normal Daredevil billy clubs that you get with Marvel Legends. Let's move on. And for the final and last accessory, he does come with the unmasked Matt Murdock head, and I do think this looks pretty good, but I'm pretty sure it is just the normal head we got with, I think, the first appearance Daredevil, Marvel Legends version. So we have seen it before, but I do think it does look good. And yeah, that's the end of the accessories. So at the end of this version of Daredevil's review, I do have to say he is probably the best looking out of the whole entire group, besides the Toy Biz Classic one. I do actually really like the design of that, the first one I looked at. But this guy, he has great paint apps. He has really, really good sculpting work, and he is very well articulated, so I do really enjoy that. And I also do really like this head sculpt, not just the Matt Murdock one. But yeah, he has pretty decent accessories. He's really good in the articulation department, so he is pretty up there. And yeah, let's move on to the next Daredevil. Alright, so here we are with the third Daredevil, and this is the Marvel Select Daredevil. I think he looks good. That's about it. He sucks in the articulation department. Let's get that out of the way. First of all, his arms can go up just a little bit. His head can kind of move. It can't really look up or down. He has no ab articulation. His hands can't pivot or go down or back. It's just one thing, and they can spin. And also, you can't take his billy clubs out, and it's not just one, it's the 2 on the string, so it does look really awkward. Can't move. He has no upper arms movement at all. His legs do move, I do like that, but he has no ankle pivot. His thigh can't move at all. His legs can't, well, they can kind of swivel out, but he has this pouch that's just sculpted on and can't obviously move. These are already put into his hand. But yeah, he does look good, but he sucks in the articulation department. This is definitely the worst articulated one. So let's get on to the accessories. I should say accessory. Alright, so here he is with the only accessory he comes with, and I'm not complaining at all. I do really, really like this accessory. I have put my Marvel Legends on this accessory, wrapped around it, kind of like the classic comic images that we have seen before. Yeah, I think he looks pretty sick standing in front of it, but the picture that comes with it, it shows him with his billy club just leaning on the cross. And he can obviously not do that at all. He has no ab articulation, and I know Marvel Select isn't known for their articulation, and they are pretty good with accessories, so I am happy with this accessory, not for this version of him, or this company's version of him, but for my other Daredevils I have. But yeah, that's about it. Let's move on. Alright, so at the end of this review of this Daredevil, I do have to say, he does look pretty sick standing there. He is very tall, so he's not really going to fit in with your Marvel Legends, but he's not as tall as other Select figures, so he can kind of work. You might be able to kind of bamboozle him in there just a little bit, but yeah, he does look sick, but he sucks in the articulation department, and let's get him with size comparisons. Alright, so I did forget to do the size comparisons for the Armored Marvel Legends Daredevil, so I'm kind of hitting two birds with one stone. But here he is next to the Marvel Select Juggernaut, and you can definitely see how big this beast is. But the thing is, it does kind of work for the character of Juggernaut, so I do have him standing next to my Marvel Legends. But yeah, there is the size comparison of the Select Daredevil with just a normal Marvel Legends scale. And yeah, he is not too tall. I thought it was pretty funny how he's not fully in the shot, so I did kind of keep it that way. But he's not as tall as, like, say, the bigger Marvel Select, but he is still pretty tall. And Marvel Select has been kind of getting a bit better, or Diamond Select has been getting a bit better with the scale for some of their Marvel characters. So I am kind of glad with that. But this guy, he's an older one, so he's not going to fit too perfectly with the Marvel Legends, but if you wanted to, you could put him in there. So let's move on with the next Daredevil. Alright, so the next Daredevil we're looking at is the Marvel Legends Netflix Daredevil, and I do really like this guy. I do think he looks pretty cool. The head sculpt is a bit weird, but in the articulation department, he is really well articulated, to the most part. He is a bit older, obviously, and mine's a bit loose. I did actually pick this guy up from 123 Customs on Instagram, so shout out to that guy. But yeah, he is pretty, yeah, he's well articulated. I do like him. Yep. So let's move on to the accessories for this guy. So this Daredevil does come with open hands that you can use to hold his other accessories. And the accessories that he can grip onto is obviously his billy clubs. And they do look different from the other billy clubs. You can see they are painted differently, and they are actually fairly accurate to the show. So let's move on with the other accessories. And then he comes with two fisted hands. And I do actually think that all the hands are sculpted really well. They are like that armor plating. And I am really happy with how this suit is sculpted. It is, I think, fairly accurate to the show. But yeah, that's it for the accessories. Let's move on with this guy. Alright, so here he is standing next to the favorite figure in my collection, and the Zemnu Wave Red Skull, and the Retro Spider-Man Shocker. And I love all three of these figures. I do think they came out really well, especially that Red Skull. So yeah, let's move on with the next Daredevil. Alright, so here is the 2003 movie Daredevil from Toy Biz. And it's not Toy Biz's fault, but I do not like this figure. Not only because I do not like the movie, but I just don't think the articulation is good on this figure. Unlike the Marvel Select one, this guy does not have outward arm movement. He does actually have weirdly well-articulated hands, so I do give them props for that. And also, you get like the finger articulation, which is normal for Toy Biz. And I got this guy because I thought I liked the suit for that movie. That was like my only favorite part of that movie. Although the director's cut wasn't too bad. But it's a biker style Daredevil, and I don't think that works well with the character. I mean, I don't think that movie worked well for the character. He does come with the normal billy clubs. I do not have them. I did just buy this guy loose. And I do believe he also came with a stained glass and nunchucks. or it was his billy clubs, but they strangely looked like nunchucks. But yeah, I don't have any accessories for this guy, so let's just get on with these size comparisons. Alright, here he is next to an actually well-made Toy Biz figure and an actually cool-looking Toy Biz figure. I don't know, this Daredevil does look pretty cool. There were some actually nice design choices with this costume, but it's just not a very well-articulated figure. But here he is next to the Sandman, Spider-Man. I think it's Spider-Man Classic Sandman. I do really like this guy. He did make an appearance in one of my videos, so make sure to go and check that out. But yeah, as you can see, Daredevil is rightfully smaller than the Sandman. But yeah, let's move on with the next Daredevil. Alright, so here is the final Daredevil for this comparison video, and it is the Bucky Cap Classic Yellow Suit Daredevil. And I do actually like this guy. I'm not a big fan of the Bucky Cap. I do think it's a bit overused, and I don't really think it works very well for Daredevil. But, I mean, it is well articulated for Marvel Legends. For, this scale, I should say. But, I mean, it's what you expect from a Bucky Cap body. I do like it. I just don't think the size of this body really makes sense for Daredevil. Daredevil isn't really that bulky. He's more slimmed down and athletic or acrobatic. I do think that this size for him is a bit too small, the muscular size. I do think he is a bit bigger than that, but I mean, it kind of gets the gist of Daredevil's body type. So I do think that this is a bit big, and I do not actually have the accessories for this guy. So yeah, these are just the billy clubs that come with the Moon Knight I have from Toy Biz. I just have them in there. But to be honest, I don't think he actually came with that many accessories, and I think these are the only hands he came with. But I do think he came with an unmasked head, which was the same as this. So just picture that on there, and I'll actually put up a picture of him with that head on right here. So yeah, let's get on to the size comparisons. Alright, so here he is next to the AOA Cyclops, and when I first saw this guy for the pictures, I did really like this design of Cyclops. I always did from the Age of Apocalypse series. I'm pretty sure he was a villain, yeah. This is when he became a villain, and he had the one eye. But yeah, this guy looks pretty sick. He is mostly Bucky Cap, but I did realize that his arms are actually brand new because they are pinless. But this guy, I was going to get him at like normal price, and then one day at my Target, he was like $6, so I just decided to get him there because why not? But yeah, that's the end of the size comparisons. I did choose him because he is mostly just Bucky Cap. His legs are the Bucky Cap legs, so he does size. I mean, it's pretty equal size. So yeah, let's move on with the rest of the review. Right, so for accessories, I am going to say that the movie Daredevil and the Toy Biz Classic Suit Daredevil is going to win. Only because they came with the stained glass and they came with the billy clubs and the stained glass you can pose them on. So I thought that was really cool. And I don't have it for the movie one, but he does technically come with it. So they're going to come in first. Then it's going to be the Armored Daredevil, then Netflix. Actually, yeah, then Netflix, then Marvel Legends Classic, then Marvel Select. I did really like the cross from Marvel Select, but technically he didn't come with the billy clubs because his billy clubs are sculpted into his hands. So yeah, for articulation though, I am going to say that the Armored Daredevil did win, then Netflix, then Bucky Cap, or then Classic Marvel Legends, then Classic Toy Biz, then Movie Daredevil, then Marvel Select. Actually, no, Marvel Select, then Movie Daredevil, because Daredevil can't even move his arms out. So yeah. The overall winner, though, is definitely going to be the Armored Daredevil. Because his suit is just really, really awesome, and I think it's sculpted really well. The Netflix one is definitely second. Then it's going to be this one, only because I really love the design of this guy. Then the Marvel Legends version, or the Hasbro version, only because I'm kind of tired of the Bucky cap, and I did not like how they did his leg thing. It's like wrapped around, so it kind of moves up and down, but the one on this Toy Biz one is sculpted on, so I really like that. Then the movie, then Marvel Select. Actually, Marvel Select, then the movie. We'll do that. So, yeah, there is the comparison. So the ultimate winner is going to be the retro armored Daredevil. So until the next Daredevil comes out, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the She-Hulk show Daredevil, I'm really excited because he is going to be finally in his classic yellow suit, and it is going to be Charlie Cox. So I'm really excited for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Comparison video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all later.